I just wish that POF made an affordable 308s. What? Someone in here?
Hey dude, new 308 came in, and it's affordable.
Thanks. I'll check this thing out. See ya.
Beverly Hills, straight covered in grease. I'm a lone ass cowboy, stuck in my jeans. Bring a baby R, got a couple in me. Won't drive no truck, keep it way too clean. Goodness me, for the boot cut boys, it's always green. Come around here, better pay some heat. I run with bands, hang with thieves.
In this video today, we're going to talk about several things. We're going to talk about the E2 chambering and what that does and what that means to the rifle. The roller pins. We're going to talk about why this rifle is so accurate. We're going to talk about why it's so lightweight, and we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. This is actually not an AR-15. This is an AR-10 chambered in 308s, but it is the same exact size as an AR-15. I don't know how they do it, but they did it. About all the pros and cons of this rifle and my personal opinion from an average Joe. I think a lot of you guys watch this channel because I'm not some gun-ho gun guy who knows everything. I never served in the military. I'm an average Joe shooting guns just like you guys to kind of give you my honest opinion, my honest feedback, to help you guys make smart decisions when it comes to purchasing a rifle. But out of the box, I'm already impressed with how it looks and how it feels. One of my big issues with 308s or AR-10s is that they're heavy. This thing is about 2 pounds less than a traditional AR-10. In fact, its competition, the same price range, is actually the St. Victor, right? St. Victor 308. And that one is about 2 pounds heavier and about the same price. So we're gonna go over trigger, the first thing I'd upgrade, charging handle, the rail, barrel. We're gonna talk about all these things in the video today. Check that thing out. What I love about this at first glance, haven't shot it yet obviously, brand new in the box. I love the ergonomics it has. It just has a lot of detail in here. And look at that finger cutout. Like that is such a great detail that a lot of guns don't have. A lot of guns, base model AR-15s or AR-10s, this thing is very light. It looks good, and I love this detail. God bless America. We need a lot more of that right now. Get your rifle. You get the owner's manual, LMR Base 308 from POF. Probably will never open this. And looks like you get a magazine. PMag 20 rounder. That's the only bad thing about 308 is that the magazine capacity is always a little bit limited. Get a PMag, and that might be it. First thing that I always do with a rifle out of the box is I change out the grip. Unless it's a high-end rifle, like a $2,000 or $3,000 rifle, and it comes with a nicer grip, you always get kind of like this cheap $5 piece of plastic. I want to swap that thing out right now with something super special. Why they consider this to be a base model is because the internals are fantastic, but the charging handle, the grip, the trigger, it's all mil-spec, nothing special about it. So you save a lot of money by doing that. However, the only thing I want to change out today is going to be the grip, and here's why. X-Tech Tactical makes awesome products, but they make this grip that's adjustable, okay? A lot of people don't realize this. You have 3 different positions. I love using this because you can shoot with different degrees, a 17, a 25, and a 33. Sometimes if you're trying to be more precise or shoot long range, you actually don't want a grip that cocks back that much. You want it a little bit more vertical, especially if you're shooting it from like a prone position for accuracy. We're gonna throw in a better grip. This one, I don't think they're that expensive at all, maybe 20, 30 bucks. Doesn't take much. It's kind of like a normal grip. That's one thing I do like about buying a base model or budget rifle is you're able to upgrade what parts that you want when you want them. Sometimes you can buy a high-end rifle that doesn't come with what you actually want, and now you're overpaying for parts that you'll never use or you don't need or you're not comfortable with. So sometimes buying the base and then kind of building up when you guys want to is actually the smarter way to go. That feels way better already in my hands. I like that. All I'm doing is swapping out that for something else. It's just a $5 part, mil-spec. We're gonna leave the mil-spec trigger in it. Obviously, you guys can swap that out. In POF, from their website, you guys can order some high-end triggers. I'd recommend doing that. And the charging handle. Some guys like to kind of run a nicer charging handle. Maybe $100 or so can buy you a pretty good one. We're gonna leave everything else as is. We're gonna take off our little sticker here. I think we're ready to go, dude. I can't believe how lightweight this is. I'm still kind of in shock. This feels actually a little bit lighter than a normal AR-15, but you're shooting a 308. Crazy because you're using the same size bolt as a AR-15, just the head is different. That's the difference right there. Test the accuracy. I'm actually going to be using a Night Force. This is a 2.5 by 20. So this has more than enough optic for a 308 out of an AR-10. However, AR-15s and AR-10s have never really been known to be accurate, especially out of the box with mil-spec parts. But POF has a sub-MOA guarantee, or maybe it's not sub-MOA, but it's MOA guarantee. I should be careful there. I'm going to assume that this kind of fits their same guarantee. I'm expecting to shoot 1-inch groups at 100 yards. That is what MOA means. Obviously, this optic is going to help me do so. So I want to mount this thing on here like so, and then we're going to go run an accuracy test. Now, this is probably not set up for this rifle yet, so I'm going to go shoot some rounds kind of on target to kind of get dialed in. Then we're going to shoot the accuracy test. While I'm doing this, I want to kind of go over how I feel about the trigger, how I feel about the internals. This thing, based off of their last base model they produced, it should be really smooth inside. And that's what we expect out of a POF. So I'm gonna go shoot it and we'll see what happens.
On my head, got the law on my back. Too many ops, I can barely keep track. Prayed for a lick and you thought I was sick. Don't lose your life for a couple of races.
This is just the surplus ammo. I'm not expecting anything special out of this, but let's just get on target and see where we're at. Let's do mid left, see what happens. Here we go. I mean, I'm hitting the same hole. I can already tell you I'm crazy impressed. Not a bad grouping though. I think the barrel is incredibly accurate for an AR-10 from what I've seen so far. This is going to be the Hornady Super Perform 150 grain SSTs. These things have always been accurate for me in the past, so I'm hoping that they're going to be accurate for this as well. Middle right. User error? My bad. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said I was an average Joe? I don't think this one shot nearly as well as the surplus, if I'm being honest. I wonder if it's a weight difference. So 150s, maybe not the best. Let's try something else. Kind of cool like that. I want to do bottom left. It's decent. Let's try the Hornady Black 168 grain. Bottom right. Let's go look at these things. So in my personal opinion, a lot of times these gun manufacturers, what they do is they promise you or they guarantee an MOA or 1 minute of angle out of the box. I have not cleaned this thing. I literally pulled it out of the box with all the original gunk on it and I'm just shooting it. I am pretty impressed from looking through the optic. About to go see live. I think with the right ammo, the right setup, the right shooter, you can definitely achieve MOA or even sub MOA with this rifle. So my first grouping is actually right here. I was shooting middle left, but I was hitting about 5 inches high. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the 5th one was actually right in here with it. I shot 5 for that first one. I don't know where else it would have possibly gone. I think the 1st and 2nd right there, you can tell by how elongated that one is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the one that I pulled. I'm really impressed with that. 4 shots right there. The next grouping, I was shooting middle right, but I shot right here, 1, 2, 3. That high one again, you kind of have like a high flyer. I'm okay with these two. Then I shot bottom left, but 5 inches high. It was about right here. Not the best grouping. Yeah, not the best, but could have been the rounds. This is what I'm impressed with right here. I was shooting bottom right and it was hitting right here. I have 4 shots right there and 1 right here. This is really impressive to me. What this is saying is that this gun likes or favors certain weights or certain speeds with this barrel. This is a pretty good grouping and this is a pretty good grouping. You had a lot that were kind of close to it, but I'm impressed with this out of the box. I could probably work, these are not hand loads. These are just over the counter, you know, bulk ammo. This is crazy impressive. That is, minus this one, the first shot, that's 4 rounds in there. That's crazy. I always kind of noticed is my rifle, especially if I'm trying to do precision shooting like this, you got to find the right bullet for your rifle. And I don't know if this is going to be the right one for every rifle. It seems to be kind of that way, that the weight of the barrel, the length of the barrel, the twist of the barrel, all these things kind of compile into themselves and they say, hey, we like this type of round. That might be the round. In my personal opinion, it was a pretty accurate rifle out of the box. I'm impressed with, I should say that. As you guys could suspect, it's a lightweight rifle. You're gonna have a lot more kick or recoil that's kind of being pounded into your shoulder. Probably the wrong way to say that, but that's how it feels. It feels like it was just a jackhammer kind of coming back. Again, this is just kind of a normal stock, not the best stock out there. I'm shooting it prone. I don't really have it nested up into my shoulder too well. It's more of my collarbone. And a 308 does have a little bit of a kick. It's a lot more than a 5.56, but with the shedded weight on this specific rifle, it just kind of pounds your shoulder a little bit more. Not that's a bad thing, but maybe if you're something to note that if you're out here shooting, I don't know, 100, 200 rounds at a range day, you're gonna have a sore shoulder at the end of it.
150, don't shoot this gun.
Built like me.
Part of what makes this rifle so accurate, I know I keep talking about the barrel, but it's actually a couple different things as well. Part of the reasons why this thing feels so smooth to shoot is because they actually have roller pins right here. A lot of AR-10s, a lot of AR-15s, they actually don't have a smooth rounded circle right there. You can see that. They have more of a square. And so as this thing's traveling back and forth inside the upper receiver, it has unnecessary wear and tear on both your bolt carrier group and on also your receiver. Having something small like that makes a huge difference, especially in the longevity and the accuracy and the smoothness of shooting this rifle. So that's just one of the things that you get on this base model is you do get their roller cam pin. You also have the E2 chambering. A lot of you guys don't know what the E2 chambering is. I'm going to explain it to you guys right now. Basically, if you guys know what a fluted barrel is, they shave out part of the barrel to save some weight. They kind of have those little like cutouts in the barrel, right? They actually do that, but like the inverted side of the chamber. So on the inside of the chamber, they flute it. Not for the weight, but what happens is gas is able to get kind of around the shell. Let me grab a shell. You have this shell inside of your chambering and the extractor pulls it out afterwards, all right? But sometimes there gets dirt, debris, gas in there, and it kind of gets stuck. And so you're putting a lot more force on your bolt carrier group and your extractor pin to pull that thing out. It can cause some failure. The E2 extractor in the chambering, it's fluted, allowing air and gas to get in between it so it doesn't get suction cupped into your chamber. It really allows a lot more life out of your bolt carrier group, a lot smoother transition. Sometimes when you're shooting a rifle and you shoot it, you kind of like a clunk, 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 clunk. Something's not right. Usually in your bolt carrier group, maybe your extractor, or if your shells aren't coming out the right way, that's a problem that can cause big issues or even malfunctions later down the road. This is a big package gun and a small package receiver. Side by side, the bolts look almost identical. Normally AR-15 or AR-10 bolt, much bigger. You don't have that. You can see is that square pin. If you don't lube it up well, you're gonna have a lot of wear and tear on the inside of your receiver, but also on that pin. And that's gonna cause more friction. It won't be as smooth versus the round one. It just, and it rolls. It'll just roll right off the tongue, no pun intended. We've kind of done this and not a lot of companies do it, but they are able to take the 308 platform and put it into take a 308 caliber and put it into the AR-15 platform. Again, that makes a lot less weight. They have 2 pounds lighter than most other guns in the same category, but also it's just smaller in general. If you're shooting a lot, or if you're kind of running and gunning, or if it's your truck gun, or you're hunting out, you know, in the wilderness of elk or deer, coyotes, whatever, you have a much smaller package. And not that smaller packages are always good, right, Reese?
Don't know anything about them. Yeah. Actually, I have a lot of experience with them.
But this is a big package gun and a small package receiver.
In Beverly Hills, straight covered in grease. I'm a lone ass cowboy, stuck in my jeans. Bring a baby, got a couple in me. Won't drive no truck if it's way too close. Golly, witness me. For the Boca boys, it's always green. Come around here, better play some heat. Run with me, got a purebred lace, so it's part of my creed. Got 2 6 shooters on the side of my head. Run up on me, I'm tired of living. Walk in the spot, hit the outlaw.
Similar to the 5.56 base, like you're paying for everything internal, like everything that you talked about. Obviously cosmetically, it looks really good. The charging handle, like you mentioned before, probably needs upgrade. You swapped out the grip already, but you're not paying for that. You're paying for everything inside. Again, like the old video that we did on the 5.56 base.
These are a really good receiver set, upper and lower, that you'll never have to swap out. I think a lot of guys, they go out and they buy like $1,000 setup and they blow their money on that. And then a year later, they're upgrading the rail. And a year later, the receiver, the lower. You start putting way more money into the original rifle. This is a rifle that you can buy and never have to upgrade within the next few years. You just don't have to. What they do is they kind of bypass all that by small details that no other company is doing. For that reason is why, internally speaking, this is an awesome rifle. Externally, yeah, upgrade your grip, upgrade your stock, upgrade your bird cage. There's a couple things you can do, maybe your charging handle, but those are all things you can personalize when you want to, how you want to. The internals make the rifle a lot better than anything else on the market for the same price.